Good morning, students. In the previous lecture of the thermodynamics, we completed whole theory of the thermodynamics, and after that we started our next topic, actually the problem. So our next problem is problem 6.13. It is very easy. What is the question? Find out the value of the equilibrium constant. Okay, so they want us to find equilibrium constant. That means they want the value of K. So what will be the K? 6.13. okay, at 298 Kelvin temperature. So temperature has been given 298 Kelvin. Okay, calculate standard gives energy change delta G naught has been given. Delta G naught is equal to minus 13.6 kilojoule per mole, right? And in the last lecture we discover formula or the relation between equilibrium constant and delta G naught, and that was delta G naught will be equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. Okay, now we want the value of K, that's why log K will be the head of the formula and remaining multiplier will be in the denominator over here. So minus delta G naught. Why minus? Because this negative sign will be carried forward with the value upon 2.303 into RT. Okay, let's put down the values. Therefore log K will be equal to value of the delta G minus, and value will be minus 13.6. okay, kilojoule value, that's why 1000 to convert it into joule. Remember that we have to convert the values into joule, that's why 1000 has been multiplied over there. Okay, in the denominator 2.303 into value of R 8.314 into temperature 298 Kelvin. Okay, let's calculate this in the calculator. So minus minus plus 13.6 into 1000 divided by 298, again divided by 8.314, again divided by 2.303. So the answer will be 2.38. log K is equal to 2.38. okay, therefore log K will be equal to 2.38. okay, now we do not want the log value, we want only value of K. That's why if log will be converted into anti-log to find out the value of K. Okay, so anti-log of 2.38. now anti-log of 2.38, let me tell you, it is a very easy. First of all, you have to see that value over here is positive or negative. So we want to discover the value of the positive value, that's why the numbers before the point will be converted into power. So 10 raised to 2, and number after the point we have to see anti-log of that. Okay, that's why anti-log of 0.38 in your book it will be 2.4. Actually there will be numbers like 2, 4, 0, 1 like that, and if you want to write it down, you have to write it as a 1 point after the one number. So antilog, again let me repeat, the value before the point will be the 10 raised to power, and value after the point will be seen in the table of antilog. 0.38 into 0, you will see the number 2, 4 something, and you have to put down the point after one number. So this will be your K. Okay, look at this formula as we have taken. Okay, after that the values we multiplied and divide. After that log K equal to 2.38, and antilog of that will be 2.4 into 10 raised to 2. That will be the value of K. After that, problem number 16.4. Problem number 16.4. Before we start problem 6.14, let me tell you something, guys. This problem belongs to chapter number 7, because they have used some of the formula from chapter number 7 which we have not studied yet. Okay, among them the first formula is of mole fraction. Formula of mole fraction. Suppose we have a reaction A plus B gives me C plus D. Okay, now suppose I want to discover mole fraction of A. So formula will be mole of A, mole will be symbolized as a N, mole of A upon total mole, mole of A upon total mole. That will be the formula of mole fraction. Okay, after that the second formula they have used is partial pressure. Suppose I want to discover the pressure of A, partial pressure of A, then the formula will be mole fraction of A into total pressure. That is the formula for partial pressure. And suppose this reaction is at equilibrium, so reversible reaction will be there, and that's why they have used the formula of Kp. What is the formula of Kp? Pressure of product raised to mole of product, pressure of mole raised to mole of product divided by pressure of reagent upon mole of reagent, pressure of reagent upon mole of reagent. So these three formulas will be used in this sum which belongs to next chapter, chapter number 7. Okay, so remember these three formulas to solve this particular problem. Now look at the numerical at 60 degrees Celsius. That's why temperature has been given 60 degrees Celsius. So 60 plus 273, temperature will be equal to 333 Kelvin. Okay, after that dinitrogen tetroxide is 50% dissociated. So reaction has been given, N2O4 converted into NO2, 50% at equilibrium. Calculate the standard free energy change at this temperature and 1 atmospheric pressure. So equilibrium pressure means total pressure has been given, P total is equal to 1 atm. P total is equal to 1 atm. Okay, they want answer delta G naught, and for delta G naught we have to calculate Kp. Okay, and for the calculation of Kp, we will need partial pressure of N2O4 and partial pressure of NO2. So let's start the sum. They have given us reaction N2O4 converted or at the equilibrium with 2NO2. Okay, both are gases. Remember that both of them are gases. Now, at initial stage, only reagent will be there. Here 1 mole of reagent is there, and at initial stage T equal to 0, there will be no product because we have just started the reaction. That's why product will be 0. Now at equilibrium 50% dissociation occurs. At equilibrium 50% of the 1, that will be 0.5, half of the 1. So remaining mole of N2O4 will be 0.5. Now there is 2 mole of NO2. So double NO2 will be produced. So if 0.5 is released by N2O4, double product will be produced into 2 because 2 moles are there. That's why mole of NO2 will be 1.0. Mole of NO2 will be 1.0. Now let's write it down so that you can use the values. Mole of N2O4, mole of N2O4 at equilibrium, it is equal to 0.5. After that, mole of NO2, mole of NO2 is equal to at equilibrium 1.0, right? And total mole, N total for the mole fraction, N total. So 0.5 plus 1.0, it will be equal to 1.5. Okay, now let's find out the mole fraction of N2O4. So X N2O4, mole fraction of N2O4 will be equal to number of mole of N2O4, N N2O4 divided by N total. Okay, so it will be equal to number of mole of N2O4, it is 0.5 and total mole is 1.5. Okay, after that mole fraction of NO2. So mole fraction of NO2 will be equal to number of moles of NO2 upon total mole of reaction. So it will be equal to number of mole of NO2, it is equal to 1.0 and total mole is 1.5. Okay, so we have just find out the mole fraction only. Still we have discovered mole fraction. Okay, now look at the formulas. Okay, first step has been cleared. First step has been cleared. We have discovered mole fraction. Okay, why we are calculating mole fraction? Because to find out delta G, we have to find out the equilibrium constant Kp, and to find out equilibrium constant Kp, we will need partial pressure, and for the partial pressure we will need mole fraction. That's why we calculated the mole fraction of both reagent and product. Now we are going to calculate partial pressure of reagent and product. So partial pressure in the sense PN2O4 will be equal to mole fraction of N2O4, that means X N2O4 mole fraction of N2O4 into total pressure P total. Okay, now P total is equal to 1 atm, that's why it will be equal to 0.5 divided by 1.5 into 1, which is equal to the mole fraction only. Likewise, partial pressure of NO2, partial pressure of NO2 will be equal to mole fraction of NO2 into total pressure. Okay, that's why mole fraction is equal to 1.0 upon 1.5 into total pressure is equal to 1. Now we have partial pressure of N2O4 and partial pressure of NO2. So let's put down the formula. Kp will be equal to pressure of product, partial pressure of product. So product is N2O4 raised to number of moles. Number of moles, how many moles are there? 2. That's why power will be 2. N2O4 has 2 moles. Look at the reaction. That's why power 2 will be there on NO2. Remember, product will be on the numerator and reagent will be in the denominator. So P N2O4 mole is 1. So raised to 1. Okay. Now put down the values that we have discovered right now. Therefore, Kp will be equal to 0.5 divided by 1.5 square. For square I am going to write it 2 times. Okay, divided by pressure of N2O4, it is equal to, sorry, not 0.5, we have done a mistake over here. It is not equal to 0.5 because NO2 reagent. So 1.0 and 1.0. Okay, in the denominator 0.5 divided by 1.5. So 1 time 1.5, 1.5 will be cancelled out. Now how many values are there? Now in the numerator, sort it out carefully. In the numerator 1 is there and in the denominator 1.5 and 0.5 is there. So 1.5 into 0.5. Okay, calculate this. 1 divided by 1.5 and 0.5. First of all, 1.5 into 0.5, it is equal to 0.75. So 1 divided by 0.75. Answer will be equal to 1.33. So Kp will be equal to 1.33. Now we have the value of Kp. Okay, using these 3 equations. Now from Kp we will calculate delta G. Okay, so let's calculate delta G over here. Therefore delta G naught will be equal to minus 2.303 into RT log Kp. For this formula we have to calculate Kp, and the calculation of Kp is the portion of next chapter, equilibrium. Okay, that's why this particular example is out of the syllabus right now. Still we calculated it. Now put down the values. Minus 2.303, value of R 8.314, temperature 333 Kelvin, and log into log 1.33. Okay, so delta G naught is equal to, okay, calculate the whole values. So 2.303 into 8.314 into 333. The answer is minus 6376. Okay, into log 1.33. So you have to see 13 in the log table, 13 into third column. So 1.33 log will be equal to 0.1238. So 0.1238 multiplied by 6376. Answer will be equal to minus delta G naught will be equal to minus 789.67 joule mole inverse. Okay, look at this. They first calculated the mole fraction. After the mole fraction of both of them, they calculated the partial pressure of both of them, and after the partial pressure they calculated Kp, and from the value of Kp they calculated delta G. Okay, answer has been wrong over here, so correct it in your book. It is 789, not 763. And another mistake is there, it is not kilojoule. Values will be in the joule, not into the kilojoule. Values will be in the joule. Okay, understood? After that, let's start exercise. Okay, in the exercise there is MCQs on the way. First MCQ 6.1. A thermodynamic state function is a quantity independent of path. State function are independent of path. Doesn't matter which way you are calculating the values, it will be independent of path. Okay, which values are independent of path? Internal energy, temperature, pressure, volume, enthalpy. These all are state functions. So independent of path will be the answer, whose values is independent of path. After that, for adiabatic condition, which of the correct condition? Q will be equal to 0, W will not be equal to 0, and delta U will be equal to very adiabatic. Look at this. Temperature no, pressure no, Q yes, Q equal to 0 and W is not equal to 0. So delta U will be equal to W adiabatic for the adiabatic process. Okay, so Q equal to 0 will be the right answer. After that, problem 6.3. Enthalpies of all elements in their standard state. Formation enthalpy of all the elements in standard state will be 0. So option B will be the answer. After that, MCQ number 6.4. Delta U is the combustion of methane minus X kilojoule per mole. Okay, let's calculate the problem number 6.4. Okay, problem number 6.4. Delta U for the combustion of methane has been given minus X kilojoule mole inverse. Okay, combustion of methane, that's why CH4 gas will be burned in the 2 mole of O2 will be also gas, and 1 carbon, that's why 1 carbon dioxide, and 4 hydrogen, that's why 2 H2, which is liquid. Now delta Ng, calculate delta Ng for this. So gaseous moles of the product, 1 of the carbon dioxide and liquid will be not considered, minus addition of gaseous mole of reagent, 2 plus 1 3. So it delta Ng will be equal to minus 2. Now what is the question over here? The value of delta H. We have the formula for that. Delta H will be equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT, right? Therefore, delta H will be equal to delta U value minus x plus minus 2 RT. That's why delta H will be equal to minus x minus 2 RT, right? Now look at this. Suppose x is equal to 16 kilojoule, so 16,000 will be there, minus value, and minus 2 RT. So you are making delta H more negative. You are making delta H more negative, and if delta H is more negative value will be the less, and less negative value will be more. Okay, suppose you have minus 5 and minus 10, which is the bigger number? Obviously minus 5 is the bigger number. You have studied that in the maths. Now look at this. If you calculate this, your answer will be greater than minus 16,000. So like this, if suppose it is minus 16,000, delta H value will be more than minus 16,000, suppose 17,000 answer is there for delta H. Look at this, which value is bigger? This x minus x value is bigger. That's why you can say that, okay, it was hypothetical, that's why I am going to rub it just to explain you guys. From this equation you can say that delta H is smaller value compared to delta U. Okay, look at this, it is smaller than delta U. Question number 6.5 will be solved in the next lecture because it is lengthy and we are nearly completion our lecture. So 6.5 will be solved in the next lecture. Now 6.6. Reaction A plus B gives me C plus D plus Q. Okay, Q is the heat in the product, so heat released. That's why 6.6 heat is released. That's why Q will be minus. That means delta H is negative. Have a positive entropy. That means delta S is positive. Okay, we have the equation delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay, this will be spontaneous when delta G is negative. Now look at this, delta H is negative and delta S is positive, T will be always positive. So this value also negative, answer will be negative. So delta G will be spontaneous for any temperature. Delta G will be negative at any temperature. So reaction will be occur at any temperature. So possible at any temperature. So that was all for this lecture. In the next lecture we will solve 6.5 and then continue with 6.7 and rest of the exercise. Okay, thank you so much.